For the next hour, the green and gold are in charge. Welcome to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is brought to you by Mole Lake Casino. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Good to have you along here this evening. Packers with a big 34-16 win over the San Francisco 49ers at Lambeau yesterday. Really a game of big plays. There were plenty of them, weren't there, TJ?
Yeah, there was. And, not so much in the first half, but second half we kind of got rolling. And, we had a lot of big plays, the plays where they jumped off sides and we went deep a couple times, that we were able to put points up on the board. So, those definitely helped us win the game yesterday. 5
times they jumped off sides.
Yeah, that's
part of the plan. You guys know they're a little aggressive.
That's actually something we do pretty much week in, week out. We try to take advantage of the snap count and more so when we're at home. But I think we're one of the best teams in the NFL at drawing people off sides and. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, either clap or don't clap, all right?
But, we're one of the best teams at getting people off sides, and it's almost a free play. So, go deep, throw it up. If it's incomplete, we get 5 yards. If you catch it, it's a big play. And we had a couple of those yesterday, and we usually have 1 or 2 a game, and yesterday they turned out to be big plays for us.
All right, now James Jones had his touchdown whistled dead and said that they blew the whistle and stopped it. Then Greg Jennings, basically the same thing happened. He gets his. And I heard that when he was running down the field and Jones was apparently screaming at him the whole time because yours counts and mine doesn't.
Yeah, it was James's was, they probably shouldn't have blown the whistle, but on that particular play, I think the whole defensive line jumped offside. So, they're supposed to blow the whistle dead if somebody's got a clear path to the quarterback. But, we felt that was a big play that, we probably should have had, but obviously they called it a different way. But Greg's touchdown was just great execution. Those guys jumped off sides and we blocked it up. Aaron threw it up, and Greg caught it and ran in for the end zone. So, we'll take points any way we can.
Give me your impression of Driver's 61-yard touchdown catch, breaking tackles along the way.
That was awesome. I mean, the whole play, it was just, one broken tackle after another, and you just heard the whole crowd just ooh, 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 and it was like, wow, he's still got it, man, for being in the league for how long he's been playing. But he's fast, he's quick, he's strong too. He runs hard. That play was, that was one of the best plays I've seen all year.
Yeah, and I think he's still slowed a little bit by the quad thing. You can tell it's probably getting a little bit better, but he's a guy that's never going to talk about injuries. In fact, you guys are all that way. You don't sit and make excuses, and you just go out and do the job. And if you get beat, you get beat. If you don't, you don't. But he's not going to go down that road. Yet he has the big play, and I heard he was playing with food poisoning on top of it. Like the night before, he was very sick.
I didn't know that. I don't think anybody knew that, but he's the type of guy where you're never gonna know if anything's wrong with him. He doesn't show it. He doesn't show his weaknesses, and he goes out there and gets the job done. So I think that shows a lot about the character that he has, playing the game.
All right, here's some numbers. Aaron Rodgers goes deep yet over the last 4. I mean, this is a guy that has no problem throwing the ball long downfield. The percentages of completions normally for a quarterback go down the longer you throw the ball, right? I mean, that only makes sense because the degree of difficulty goes up. Yet he has completed, in the last 4 games, 73, almost 74% of his passes, and his passer rating during that time is 131.9. So, I mean, he is obviously on a tear. Greg Jennings, the last 3 games, 18 catches for 393 and 5 touchdowns, averaging almost 22 yards a catch. Those are some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, they are. Those guys have been hooking up a lot, the past few weeks, and really our whole wide receiver group. I mean, they're so talented. If one guy's getting double covered, if another guy's got single coverage, we're going to find a way to get him open, and he's going to catch the ball. So I think that says a lot about those guys. We have so many options that the defenses we play, they can't afford to double cover people because we have so many threats that if you double cover this guy, all right, well, Donald Driver is going to be wide open, or James Jones is going to be a one-on-one route. And we have probably the best receivers in the NFL, beating one-on-one coverage. So those guys do a great job, and they've been playing their butts off lately. They've definitely come up with a lot of plays here the last few weeks.
Takeo Spikes said of Aaron Rodgers, he would not allow them to lose. He was calm, cool, and collected. Pretty good compliment from somebody on the other side, and that's one thing about Rodgers. You can see it on TV when you watch him play, and they put the camera up close. The guy just never looks flustered.
He doesn't. I mean, he's you can go to the huddle after a bad play, and he's never yelling at guys. He'll if you
except he yelled at Quinn Johnson a couple times yesterday.
Yeah, he did. But I think he was frustrated with a couple of those timeouts. We had to take because of formation or whatever it was. But
right.
He gets over it real quick. He gets back in the huddle, and once the previous play is done, he moves on to the next one. He doesn't really hold any grudges from the previous play. So he's a guy that's in the huddle, just always calming guys down. And we know the capability we have. There's no reason for us to really freak out about anything. When we're a calm, collect group. I mean, we make big plays like we've been doing the last few weeks.
Sometimes you need, your leaders out there, if it's your quarterback or if it's Driver, if it's Scott Wells or whatever, sometimes you got to light a fire under somebody to get them going.
Every once in a while, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were, especially yesterday. I mean, we kind of got off to a slow start a little bit on offense, so you kind of got to get in somebody's behind a little bit after a slow start. But the guys picked it up and finished the game great.
All right, I know all of Northeast Wisconsin and all of Wisconsin in general is ready now to anoint James Starks as the next coming at running back. 18 carries, 73 yards, and really, I mean, for a rookie debut. Hadn't played literally in 2 years. That's a pretty nice effort yesterday. What I really liked about it is he always seemed to fall forward. He always seemed to get the extra 2 instead of, stopping in his tracks and falling down, that kind of thing. And you know what? This offense doesn't need a guy to hit 100 yards every week. They just need somebody that gives the opposition something to think about. In terms of your ability to run the football from time to time.
Right, and that was a huge emphasis for us offensively this week is, we were taking a lot of heat from last week about, not being able to run the ball, and obviously we came into work Wednesday, and we had a great meeting, between the offensive line and the running backs. We sat together, and, we basically took turns telling, going over each play, and, as an offensive line, we would tell them what we're looking for, and they'd tell us what they were looking for, and we started to click, and, I thought the whole running group did a great job last week, and James is a hard runner, he's a strong, powerful guy, so he's only going to get better the more reps he gets.
All right, we'll talk more about that running game with our next guest. It's coming up in just a few moments here from the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we are back here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Our program brought to you each and every Monday night by Mole Lake Casino Resort and Conference Center. Our guest tonight in his fifth NFL season out of Boise State University. Where's number 73? Put your hands together for Daryn Colledge. Welcome, Daryn. Thanks for coming out.
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Packers' commitment to run yesterday was obviously pretty strong. Now, I realize that some of Aaron's runs were called passes, but it was just about a 50-50 split. With his runs, it ended up 34 runs, 30 passes. That's un-Green Bay. That's un-McCarthy-like right there.
Well, I think we've always had a commitment to run the ball, but a lot of us said last week that if we excelled with the opportunities that Coach McCarthy gave us to run the ball, we would run the ball more. Mm-hmm. And we've been a very opportunistic offense, and we've been throwing the ball very well. And if we can't run, we've thrown it and said, hey, if we're going to throw it all day, we'll get Aaron 400 yards, like Greg catch it 3 times, we'll just win the game that way. So we ran the ball well when we had the opportunity, and Mike kept calling it.
What was Starks like in the huddle? Any different than any other running back? Or
I think he was disappointed. Really, he came back to the huddle each time, kind of like, "Oh man, I could have broke that one. Oh man, I could have broke that one." And we're just kind of like, "Hey, dude, just calm down, get 6 yards, and hold on to the football." So, it's good to see a guy like that who's hungry, who's excited to be in the huddle, and excited to try to produce.
Leo just right over here said to me is one of the things he was worried about was the guy hanging on to the football. I mean, he hadn't run the ball in 2 years. That's to go through 18 carries. I mean, Mike McCarthy said, TJ, before the game that he wanted to give him 8 to 10 carries. Gave him 18 carries. He did pretty good.
Yeah, he did a fine job. Really, the whole offense yesterday taking care of the ball. I mean, that's something we stress every day of practice. We got so many different drills where, we're trying to get the ball out from those runners, and they do a great job week in, week out of taking care of the football. And James did an excellent job yesterday with his ball security.
How about that T formation in the backfield? Everybody lined up straight. I mean, I suppose, you got 1929 uniforms. You need to come up with an old formation to go along with it.
Yeah, I thought we'd get out and run the wing a little bit, but no can do. They're not going to let Aaron get hit unless he has to be hit, so we're going to stay away from it.
Get Kuhn back in there. That was big. I mean, the crowd was ready for that. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's one of our better short yardage runners. I mean, he's going to plow, and he's one guy's not going to bring John down. He's going to have to take 2 or 3 guys, and the 3rd and 1s and the goal line plays. He got in there and got the job done each opportunity he got.
Another guy that falls forward too, and it doesn't get pushed back too much. You guys converted 6 of 6 3rd down, 3rd and 1s yesterday, and of those, 5 of them came via the run.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of questions last week about us not in Atlanta getting a couple conversions on some stuff. So overall, we thought we've done very well with 3rd and 1. It was sad that Atlanta had a blaring mistake on a 3rd and 1, and to miss the quarterback sneak at the end zone. That stuff's hard. But again, we took all that and we put it in this week and said, let's work even harder, let's get even better. And believe me, we felt like we probably should have got another yard or more on some of those. So we're gonna be back at work this week, and nobody's gonna rest on where we're at.
So how are you feeling right about now?
Me?
Yeah.
The food was good. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
No, I mean, that was a good one.
Health-wise?
From a health standpoint.
Great, actually. I'm surprised 5 years is flying by, and I thought, you never know where you're going to be at 5 years, but I feel like each year I'm actually getting a little healthier. So right now I'm feeling healthy. I got little nicks and bruises, but nothing that's going to keep me from playing football.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Exactly. It's December. There's no time for injuries right now. Just like Donald played with this sickness last night. There's no time right now. We play football for a reason. We're paid to be there. I think everybody's trying to be there for everybody. We've had enough injuries. We had enough problems. This team has done its best to overcome those and put itself in a position to be where it wants to be in January. This is that month. Let's get to work.
You have, dating back through college and then all the way through the Packers, you've never missed a game.
Now you're gonna I gotta knock on wood or something. I mean, you're gonna jinx me. That's. I've been very fortunate. I've been. There's been opportunities where there's been a chance to, and the trainers have done a great job keeping me on field, or the coach is doing a great job of keeping me healthy. It's. I see a chiropractor, I see a massage therapist. I do whatever I can off the field to protect myself on the field, and then I think there's a whole lot of luck there. It's a foot here, an inch there, and that's what keeps you on the field. And some of my teammates have been less fortunate, and I think the guys that are out there are the ones that are fighting for those guys. Those guys sacrificed a ton to be there this season, and sadly they won't be with us to do things we need to do this month. But the rest of us are still fighting for those guys.
Yeah, I think it says a lot. And you're right. There is luck involved, but there's toughness involved too. I mean, you got to be willing to go out there and play through some of those nicks and stuff that you're talking about. So
well, I tell you what, you talk to any of the guys, the big injuries, those ones you kind of walk away from. It's the nicks are the ones that start adding up. The jam fingers and the bad toes and the feet. You see guys in there getting treatment on that stuff. But right now we're trying to stay as healthy as we can. We know this is the most important time for us and our fans and our season. So we gotta have everybody on board.
8 players, according to your bio, that the 8 players that have come out of Alaska to play in the National Football League, or at least be drafted in the National Football League. You were the highest one.
Yeah.
Anybody else out there right now that's still playing?
Chris Cooper. He's the right guard for Denver Broncos, and I believe that there was another kid that was drafted this year that's out of somewhere like Chuyak, out of just outside of Anchorage. I believe is out there floating around somewhere, but. There's not a lot of us. I mean, there's only like 16 people up there, anyways. So I mean, for 8, we're actually doing pretty well.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
How's your season up there? I mean, is it a summer type season, or
we start a little sooner? We start about a month sooner than most schools do. We only play 8 games. We play similar to an NFL season. We play everybody twice, because we haven't got a lot of teams, and we always finish our last few games in the snow. So, and then state championships are always held in Anchorage because they got better weather than we have in Fairbanks. So, it's It's good football. I mean, it's 11-man football. It's competitive, but it's not Texas and California. We're not going to kid ourselves. Very few guys have the opportunity to get out and play because of it's so far from everything else. Nobody watches you play football up there. We're more of a hockey and a basketball kind of community.
Right. For those of you at home aren't aware, Daryn is from Alaska. Grew up at North Pole, Alaska, and I would imagine that you probably finish. Lights must be a necessity up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dark there most of the time, isn't it?
Yeah. Right now, they're probably at about 19 to 20 hours a day of darkness. Mm-hmm. So they're pushing the limits right now. But when we're playing in the beginning of the season, you're looking at about 19 hours of daylight. So we make up for it.
That's amazing how fast that switches, though.
It's a quick process. The solstice comes extremely fast, and as soon as you get to the peak, you're already starting to lose light again. So it's kind of a celebration. At the same time, it's kind of sad. It seems like right when you get the most sunlight and you're enjoying yourself, it's going to start dipping away.
When Balaga came in here, they threw your job open and let them compete with you, and you held on to it. And I don't know if they were looking to provide the best competition, if they're looking to say, Daryn Colledge is either going to take this job or what, but it's what were your thoughts? I mean, you're the veteran here, and all of a sudden they're throwing somebody in at you.
Well, I don't think it was any different than any year. They've always thrown competition your way, and it's always going to be based off how you perform. But I knew a lot of the complaints that I had and the media had last year, and even the fans were when I played out of position, when I was the left tackle. That was when my disappointing games came. As a left guard, I played well last season, and I knew that if I just stuck to my work schedule, I worked even harder this offseason to get better, that I would have the opportunity. But I got to compete against guys like Balaga and Jason and Alan Barber and Marshall Newhouse, our rookies, and TJ. And there's a lot of guys there, and I think every one of those guys makes you a better player, and those guys continue to push you. And the day you're not working to get better is the day that one of those guys will step up and take your job, because every one of those guys is hungry. Every one of those guys wants to play, and I think when you start resting is the day you should probably hang it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of the young guys, TJ, Brian Balaga, left tackle, left guard, right tackle.
Oh yeah, I feel for him.
A lot of guys shifting around. You've gone through that before.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. I a lot of guys don't know how to handle that. It's different. I went to college. I played left tackle every single game, every practice, my whole career. And to come here and have to change positions was crazy. I couldn't believe it. But I did what I had to be at the left guard. And then all of a sudden you got to play the left tackle. And then all of a sudden you got to be a right guard. And then you got to be a right tackle. And you don't know how to handle that. But I think that we have a group of guys in our room that are flexible enough. TJ showed it last year, his ability to come in there and play different positions and have success. That flexibility is what makes him special for our team and gives him that ability to start.
Right. Daryn Colledge, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back and we'll continue our conversation. TJ Lang in the house. Back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we are back. Don't forget, coming up, the Granite Peak Ski Area email segment is your chance to win a ski package from Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau worth more than $400. That's coming up in our next segment. Transportation provided by L&S Classic Limousine. Personal, professional service for all occasions. Call 800-830-5933. Lenny and Sue both here tonight. Thank you very much. That was kind of a weak. There we go.
There you go, Lenny.
See, everybody was trying to find out where Lenny was. Like, oh no, he's in the room. Okay, we'll get him.
Yeah, Lenny's hiding. You should have seen. Well, I don't want to embarrass Lenny.
Go ahead.
Well, you missed a couple weeks ago. He had his Mr. T starter kit on. It was good
really?
stuff. Yeah.
Looked like Cullen Jenkins?
Yeah, a little bit. Not
Similar.
quite. Cullen really goes. He really dresses up pretty good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Plus Lenny doesn't have enough hair in his head to pull off what Cullen pulled. So. Speaking of Cullen Jenkins, he's out a week from what the coach said. A week, maybe two. He's got that calf strain that's been kind of a never-ending problem for him this year, so that's not good news. Corey Hall, he'll be hard-pressed to make it back this week after a sprained knee, and Brett Swain, he had a knee bruise. He should be back this week. And so those are your injuries from the weekend. Are you surprised at the NFC? Everything started so slow, And all of a sudden now you got teams that are not only bunched together, several of them, but playing very good football right now.
Yeah, it definitely took a while. It took a few weeks for everybody to kind of get going a little bit, and it's a very competitive division. I mean, there's a lot of 8-4, 9-3, 7-5 teams out there, but there's a lot of competition. It's going to come down to these last 4 weeks. I know there's a lot of divisional games. We've got a tough schedule ahead of us with a couple division games left, and it's tough. So these last 4 weeks are going to have a lot to do with the playoff picture, because nothing's really clear set right now. No team has really jumped out to a clear number 1 seed. So these last 4 weeks are going to be big for every team in the division.
It's TJ Lang, Daryn Colledge, our guest on the program this evening. Talked about the fact that you hail from Alaska. Do you still live there in the off season? You just kind of go back and visit now?
No, I don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
It's like my mom called me yesterday.
Place.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's great. Anyways, she calls me yesterday. It's 37 below zero. Yeah. 37 below zero. It wasn't even December when she called me. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Why would you even live there? I love Alaska. I think everybody should go. It's a beautiful place. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And if global warming's working out, I got a piece of prime property up there waiting for me. But for right now, we live in Boise. We keep our home there. My wife's family's there. We spend as much time there as we can. But I can't lie. Really, we're here about 9 months out of the year. Between football and the charity work my wife does, we don't leave the state. So this is really home for us.
Yeah. So you're not ever going to go back, huh?
Well, again, if the global warming thing works out, then I've got a great piece of property. It'll be a wonderful place to be in the summer.
Your contract's up after this year.
My contract was up last year.
Yeah, yeah. And now with the potential lockout and all the kind of stuff, is that a good thing, a bad thing? How are you looking at that?
Well, I mean, in all reality, I can't lie. I'm really trying not to look at it. I've got a lot of business that needs to be handled before that. I've got 4 more games this regular season,
right,
and hopefully 3 or 4 more games this off season. Maybe I can start worrying about it February 17th. That'd be about the right time. I'd like to start thinking about that, but. That stuff is totally out of my control with the way the CBA is and the way the Packers are right now. I have no control over anything that can happen there except play football. So I'm going to play football the best I can, and if the Packers choose to keep me around for hopefully another 5 or 6 seasons, then great.
TJ, would you believe that Daryn wants to do like television radio for a career down the road?
Yeah, I get to see it.
He's pretty good at it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's great at it.
He's had a number of gigs.
Yeah, I did his show last year, and I think he had like 8 shows last year between the website and radio and TV and Sirius Radio. I think he has his own show on there. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, he's great. He's got a great personality, and that's one thing I've noticed about Daryn is how well spoken and intelligent he is. So that is no surprise to me.
Glad these are the things you notice, man. Not how I play. It's not, he's a physical guy. He's a well-spoken, mild-mannered guy.
What do you got going right now?
Nothing. Show-wise? No, nothing. The Packers canceled my show on the website, and I think my other TV show went bankrupt. So Jason and I are always looking for another gig. So we worked together last year and had a great time.
The Packers canceled your internet gig.
Well, actually, yeah, they did. It's so funny because they weren't even paying me. I don't know how they fired me, but they asked me to do the show the last couple of years, and I had a great time with it, and the fans had a great time with it. But they're trying to, I think everybody's been on the website lately. They're trying to redo the website and bring a whole new perspective to the fans, and they want to do something just like I did, except with somebody people know. So they're looking for a more famous face to step up, like Greg Jennings or Donald Driver, to do the same show I'm doing.
That's a mistake. I'm telling you, I've seen you do your stuff. Television, when you come in this show here in radio, you're dynamite.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to get a contract with them. I'm thinking like 10 cents a hit, and I'd be good to go.
Now, I'm not so sure that a Bill Scott endorsement is going to do you a hell of a lot of good, but I'm telling you, you're good. You are. You do a nice job. Mike McCarthy's message, he said, is going to be the same as last week. This week, last week. What was the message again? So you don't listen to your coach?
I saw some signs up that said something about focus.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds right. We're going to focus in this week.
He really, obviously, he doesn't want you, because there's a lot of talk about, the playoff scenarios are coming down, and there's 4 games left to go, and everybody's talking about games you got to win, and it doesn't matter if you lose the New England game because it's a non-conference game and all that kind of stuff. And he didn't want you guys getting involved in that type of stuff at all. And I'm assuming that he at least tells you a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're taking every game one by one right now. We're not looking, ahead to the remaining 4 games. Today we reviewed the last game yesterday, and we're moving on to Detroit, and that's all we can focus on right now. We're not talking about the playoffs right now because we still got 4 games ahead of us. There's a lot of football to be played, so we're just taking it day by day, week by week, and our focus right now is on the Detroit Lions. We're not getting over ourselves trying to think about, well, we got to win this one and then this one and hope this happens. We're not looking forward to that stuff. We're taking it week by week, and our focus is right now on Detroit.
One of the classic, you see Sports Illustrated, ESPN, the magazine, they come out with their pictures issues. Would have been a classic picture. Maybe somebody caught it. But yesterday, before the game, national anthem's about to be played. Packers all standing on the sidelines, lined up one right after another. Everybody's in their short sleeves, no jackets or anything like that. 49ers maybe had 5-6 guys up on the sideline with the coaching staff. Every other player was sitting on that hot seat. This is before the game started.
Boo. Oh, yeah, boo.
That'd have been a great pictures segment in a magazine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
But that really tells you. I mean, do you guys notice that stuff? Are they talking about how cold it is out there, or not saying a thing?
Well, I don't think that they didn't mention the cold, and not many guys are going to talk about it. But you can tell guys are uncomfortable. And I mean, not the psycho that played over the top of me, but like normal people. Normal people are like, they come into that cold. But that weather's always an advantage for us, and we know that we would love to have some games in January. Right here in front of our fans. Some of those sub-zero temperatures, that just puts the ball in our court.
This weather for you is kind of like summer vacation, isn't it?
No, this is great. This is balmy. I haven't put on a coat yet, so I like to. This is acclimation for me. I'm enjoying it.
What does December when Coach says December football? What does that mean to you?
Really, who's gonna excel and who's gonna put themselves on top of the division? We got 4 games left. It's crunch time. It's time to really start playing your best football. If you haven't, if you have, keep it going. And that's our main focus right now. Is we're gonna, we've been doing a lot of good things the last 3-4 weeks, and we're gonna continue to build on the good things, fix the things that are keeping us down. And it's crunch time. It's time to show up. Go hard or go home, I think was a message we had last week, and we're going to take that for the remaining 4 weeks we have.
Yeah, not necessarily. It's 3 weeks to Christmas. It's crunch time.
Yeah, it's crunch time. It's crunch time. We gotta start. Keep playing our best football and kind of establish ourselves at the top of the division.
All right. It's TJ Lang, Daryn Colledge with us. Stay tuned. We'll come back, give you the Granite Peak Ski Area email segment. It's coming up after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now, back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we're back at the 5th quarter here in Little Chute. Good to have you along. In the Huddle, heard on many of these great radio stations around the state, like in Whitehall, WHTL, in Wausau, WDTX, in Racine, and WRJN, up in Marinette, and WMAM, down in Madison, and WTSO, in Fond du Lac, KFIZ-AM, and in Clintonville on WJMQ. Granite Peak Ski Area will be open Tuesday through Friday evenings this week, and will be open every day beginning this Saturday for the season. Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau is the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin, 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. Granite Peak offers terrain for all levels of skiers, discounted lift tickets, and other information available online at skigranitepeak.com. Time now for our Ski Granite Peak email segment, and Justin Hall is with us.
All right, we'll go ahead. We'll start with the first question from Christy in Kaukauna. She wants to know, do you guys get to keep your throwback jerseys, and what are you going to do with yours if you do?
Actually, they told us we get to keep our backup jerseys, but I think the actual game-worn jerseys, I think they were going to sell in the pro shop, but we get to keep our backups, which is pretty cool. I mean, they're very similar, but it's an awesome thing to have. Probably frame it up, throw it with the other memorabilia, I've collected throughout the past few years.
What about on a normal game? I mean, do you guys, I've seen it before, Like players will exchange jerseys. Have you asked a player for a jersey, or did you do anything like that?
I asked Aaron for his.
You sport the retro jerseys throughout the year coming out of the locker room, I remember.
Oh, Aaron's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. So I'll rock the jersey. I got a signature and everything. I feel I'm doing good.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. This one coming from Ryan in Appleton. What's the reaction in the locker room when somebody gets a big contract, kind of like Tremont did this week?
Happy for him. I mean, he's earned it with his play this year. After stepping into a starting spot, halfway through the year last year and playing the type of football he's playing this year, he's the guy who deserves it. So a lot of congratulations. A lot of smiles coming from Tremont's locker. Well deserved, but feel happy for the guy.
All right, we'll get to our next question. This is for you, Daryn. How much does Aaron Rodgers or the rest of the offense have in deciding play call? I mean, if you notice something on the field, do you let the coaches know if you see something that might work?
I have no deciding factor on what gets called. Believe me. I think Aaron has the ability. He obviously has checks in the game that he can flip runs. He can change runs to passes or passes to runs, and he's allowed to throw quick slants when he sees guys off. As for the actual play calling, that's all Coach McCarthy. That's his decision and his game plan. So we don't want to make any adjustments off that. And plus, I mean, everything's happening out there so fast anyways. I don't want to try to think up a new play. I got enough problems trying to remember the plays we're running.
You're not going in the huddle writing plays on your hand,
like drawing stuff in the ground. I'm like, all right, you run past the bottle cap and make a left, and I'm going to try to block the Cadillac, and we're no, nothing like that.
All right, we'll get to our next question. I know TJ likes the embarrassing ones, but this one coming from a young lady named Melissa. She mentions last week she heard you were single. What do you look for in a female?
Hello.
Man. I don't know. I'm not really picky, I guess. Justin, why you gotta do this to me, man?
I'm just giving the people what they want.
I like these not very picky.
God. I don't really know. Person now, I mean it.
You'll know when you see it? How about that? Just say, I'll know when I see it.
Yeah. I'm not really choosy. I just kind of go with the flow.
I'm just gonna let this one go. I mean, I'd run with it, but I'm gonna let it go.
You know what that sounds like when he says I'm really not choosy? That sounds like that's the translation. Desperate.
I got a feeling TJ Lang has no problem picking up a date. Single guy like him, good looking. I'd introduce him to my sister, but I don't trust him.
I don't know where to go from here.
I don't know either.
We'll get to Christy's question here. Are either of you guys involved with Twitter at all? Hearing about all the tweets and the tweet finds that are out there?
I'm not a Twitter guy.
No, not a Twitter guy at all.
I know TJ has a Facebook page. She can look it up on that.
Yeah.
Who was wondering what kind of girls TJ likes? Just go on his Facebook page.
There's a lot more information on there.
All right, we got one more here. This one coming from Craig in Reedsburg. What do you guys think Brett Favre's future will hold? Do you think he will get the starting spot again, or do you think he ends the year as a backup? Now, assuming you guys are big Minnesota Viking fans because they play Chicago, Philadelphia, and the New York Giants 3 of their final 4 games.
I mean, the coach said if he's healthy, he's going to stick with him, but, Tavares Jackson came in and led their team to, one heck of a win. So I don't know. I don't know if you start looking towards the future or you play the guy with 20 years of experience. I mean, it's a tough call, but, I have a hard time believing that they're going to keep Brett on the bench if he's healthy, even though Tavares might be the better player at this point.
So is that true? Do you guys become Viking fans now because of who they play?
I wouldn't say fans, but might root for them a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'd like them to win by a point, maybe, but I don't know.
Is there scoreboard watching at this point? I know that was brought up to a couple of guys yesterday.
I got no time to watch the score.
I do. Yeah, I watch the scoreboard the whole game. I got nothing else going on. I'm checking out stats for my fantasy team
And amazingly enough, you're still when they call for a defensive lineman, that extra guy or that extra tackle eligible, you are Johnny on the spot out there doing your thing.
Oh yeah, I know when I'm supposed to play, and I know when I can relax and have some fun and watch some highlights on the board. But I'll tell you, last year, the first play I ever got in was, at the St. Louis, and Darren's shoe came off. I think we were on the 1 yard line, and I was on the opposite 30-yard line, and I had to take off about an 80-yard sprint to get down to the huddle, and I was out of breath, man. I do not stand that far away from the ball anymore. I'll tell you that, man.
TJ will never admit this. Being Chad's backup, he has no time to rest.
Oh my!
He has no time to relax.
It's the hardest job in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, man.
All right. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with our final segment. We'll also give you the winner of our ski area, our Granite Peak ski area email segment.
Now, back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we're back here at the fifth quarter in Little Chutes. Final segment here with TJ Lang and Daryn Colledge. Let's get our winner of the Granite Peak ski area email question of the week, and back we go to Justin.
I suppose if I pick Melissa, TJ's going to throw me through a window. So
I want to hear Melissa's.
Melissa had the question about
single, yeah.
about being single. We'll go with Diane in Menasha this week, who had the question about changing plays in the huddle. She'll pick up that ski package. So.
All right, congratulations to Diane. She has got that package worth more than $400. Well, you guys are both, we talked during the break about downhill skiing and snowboarding and stuff like that. You both like to get out, and I don't know if I picture big offensive linemen rolling down the slopes, but I hear you guys are pretty good.
I wouldn't say pretty good. I mean, it's been about 7 years for me since I've been, but I used to be a big snowboarder back in high school. I was about 230 back then. I'm 320 now, so I don't really know if the board would be able to take my weight, but I love to get outdoors, and that's something that we talk about every week. That Granite Peaks thing. I mean, that'd be something I'd definitely be interested in going up there and checking it out. Yeah, I love being outdoors.
So there's a possible Granite Peaks TJ Lang tour package.
I'm gonna start sending in email questions for myself, trying to get the win for that Granite Peaks area. I'm cheap. I don't want to pay for it. I want to win it from you guys.
You like, it isn't just ski, but I mean, you like snorkeling, the whole gamut, don't you?
I do. I'm an outdoors guy, and I scuba dive. I ski, I snowboard. Those are all. I used to mountaineer and rock climb, do all that kind of stuff when I was lighter, like TJ. When I was like 200 pounds, I used to be all about the ice climbing and things like that. But the fatter I got, the more dangerous it got. And I was like, I'll stick to sports that keep me on the ground.
Packers play 2 straight on the road starting Sunday at Detroit. Let's go back to the first Lions game. They played pretty well at Green Bay the first time around.
They've been a tough team all season. I mean, they've lost a lot of close games and probably lost some games they should definitely have won. So they're, they may not be going to the playoffs this year, but they're a team that's looking to kill some other people's hopes. So they'll be a tough team at home, and they've always been a challenge at home to play. So we're going to have our hands full.
Ndamukong Suh.
Who is that?
Your thoughts about him?
I have no thoughts on Ndamukong. That's Josh's problem, not mine. I got Corey Williams and Vandenbosch to worry about. So he's obvious. From what I've seen on tape and from playing against him, he's an extremely talented player. A young up and comer, and who's made quite an impact this year, and hopefully makes no impact next weekend. Jets,
New England. Are you do you watch Monday Night Football? You gonna hang around and watch that one, or stay up and watch it?
Yeah, I'm an anti-Jets guy. I don't, just the way they kind of go about their business, all the trash talking they do. So I think I'll be rooting for the Patriots tonight.
Yeah, and of course you get the Patriots. I mean, do you seriously, even though they're after the Lions, you sit there and say, well, we got them coming up. Maybe I can pick something up here, or do you get enough film watching where it doesn't matter?
This is the one time I get to watch film and there's actually sound involved. Yeah. So I actually enjoy watching, the other teams when they play on TV. So we're going to watch it. We're going to see if we can pick up some tips, and maybe somebody will get, somebody will give something away. But, I think you got to kind of root for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I think nobody likes the Jets more than the Jets. So I got no problem watching those guys lose a football game.
Did you see the hit on Favre yesterday?
Yeah, I did. It was nasty. They showed up on the big screen yesterday during the game.
And the fans cheered.
Yeah, they cheered, which is. I don't think
that is totally wrong.
I don't think
should have done that.
I don't think they were cheering that he got hurt. I think they were cheering that he threw an interception on the play. But
no,
yeah,
I think they were cheering that he got hurt.
I was trying to stick up for you guys, but all right. Yeah, that was a nasty hit though.
And another quarterback, all of a sudden, Peyton Manning. He's thrown 4 picks in back-to-back games now. That's
2
unbelievable.
pick sixes in both games too. That's hurting their team, man. They're 6-6. They're going to be struggling these last 4 games to try to get a playoff spot. And I think yesterday, listening to the game, they've been the only team to make the playoffs the last 8 or 9 straight years. So, they're still a very talented team. But, they're going to have to play pretty good football here the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, you talked, Daryn, about the Lions, and they seem to kind of wither away in the fourth quarter, but they've given just about everybody they play a pretty good scare through three and a half quarters, and just don't have enough to hang on in the end.
Well, I hope they don't. But, they're going to give us a run for our money. I mean, they're going to play us well. And the great thing about division games and the tough thing about division games is they are division games, and there's no records when you step into those games. There's nothing but hate, hate and animosity towards both sides of the ball, and they would love nothing more than to give us a loss. So we're looking forward to the challenge. They feel like they need to get one back, and we feel like we definitely need to take another one from them if we want to continue going in the right direction.
Ford Field, your thoughts on that place?
Beautiful venue. I think it's a great field. I think they get a good crowd in there. I think it's a great place.
Yeah, I love Ford Field. Growing up in Detroit, I got a couple opportunities to play high school ball there, and even a couple games in college. So, I'm no stranger to that field. I love the environment there, and it's a great stadium to play in.
Extra pumped now. With 4 games left.
I think we're looking towards Detroit. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited for the TJ Lang crowd. He's got a large female population that seems to follow him. So, exactly. I mean, we're looking forward to Detroit, and that's we know it's the fourth quarter of the season, but again, it's Detroit this week. We'll worry about the next 3 after this one.
TJ, you got to buy a couple extra tickets, or?
Not
for the
so
fan
much.
club?
Just for my lady friends. No, I'm just kidding. No, I got a lot of family. I mean, I think there's going to be about 50 or 60 of them coming up to the game. So I told them I'm not trying to get 50 tickets for you guys. You guys can work that on their own, and they took care of that. So it'll be nice to be back home and see the family for a little bit on Saturday, and play back in Detroit.
All right. Good luck. Daryn, thanks for coming out. Best of luck to you. It's great having you on the show. Daryn Colledge, ladies and gentlemen, with TJ Lang, our producer Reggie Razoo, our engineer Evan Stanek, and Justin Hull, the jack of all trades here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. I'm Bill Scott. So long, everybody. You've been listening to In the Huddle at the fifth quarter on the Woodward Radio Network.